Episode 7 of the Ultimatum. We had Alexis's bachelorette party for some reason. The couples all go to a winery together, and we had some couples that seemed to just magically decide to mend their relationships, and others that are still continuing to deteriorate. Why was Alexis back for this bachelorette party? She just showed up there. She wanted to badmouth Colby. She wanted to make things awkward between Ray and April. And she was using the whole guise of, oh, I'm just speaking the truth. No, Alexis, you're just being a jerk. Like, if you really cared, you would at least pull Ray to the side and have that conversation. You wouldn't try to be provoking Ray to say something that is clearly going to or intended to hurt April. If you really had something to say about Colby, you would either go to Madeline or directly to Colby and say it. You didn't have to do that in front of the whole group. You are just a jerk, and that is that. The winery, I thought that was going to go way worse. Getting all the couples back together, getting alcohol involved, and how that didn't turn into an absolute drama fest, I will never know. Not really sure where to start here, so let's just jump into April and Jake. Apparently, April might be pregnant. That's not the twist that I was expecting to see on this show, but it's happening, and we'll have to see what develops about that. One thing just to note there, I'm pretty sure that April said that she often has irregular ovulation earlier in the season, so 12 days late might not be that unusual for her. So we will have to see what happens there. Why they couldn't splurge for a pregnancy test, I will never know. Pee on a stick, and then you just know. But apparently she's just waiting for an ultrasound because who knows. Anyways, April is trying to work things out with Jake, and now he seems open to mending things. And then when Jake apologizes for what his attitude was like coming back to April, they all of a sudden seem totally fine. Looked like they might have been having some extracurricular activities after the apology. So these two could be potentially staying together, which is kind of shocking to me because I really thought Ray and Jake were great together, and that was going to be the new couple that exited this season together, and now that is in jeopardy. Next up, let's talk about Madeline and Colby. Yeah, got a comment here about Alexis. She had to come back to take that shot at Colby, all because he rejected her at the start of the season, but whatever. Things seem real bad with this couple, or at least they did at the start of the episode. Colby having the audacity to say that he thinks they are the strongest couple, and I was just sitting there thinking, what reality is this man living in? It's been, since they got back together, their relationship has been terrible. Absolutely terrible. Even going to the winery when Colby threw, I think it was a grape to April, and how furious Madeline got. Obviously she has full right to be mad at this man, but probably not that mad over a grape being thrown. Colby, he was being a jerk. He at the winery, it looked like he was intentionally prodding Madeline a little bit, and Madeline, I think, needs to be a little more direct with some of her answers with Colby, because if she wants to move on, I think that's the best way. Don't let things linger. Don't worry about hurting someone's feelings, because If you let that fester, it's often going to make things worse in the long run. But then all of a sudden, we just have like this massive 180 at the end of the episode where Madeline's like, hey, I want to be heard. And Colby's just like, okay, I'll listen more. And then they just make up. Like, how did that come about? Like, everything that's happened since they came back together has been awful. You know, the whole Colby texting some random girl and making out and who knows what else with some random girl during his 3-week hiatus. Just like that's just gone. Like Colby blaming Madeline for all of the problems and everything that's happened, and then has the audacity to say that he hasn't blamed her for anything. It's just ridiculous. Like, it's just been problem after problem after problem, and yet these two just whatever, just like, well, we're fine, let's get back together, makes no sense for me. Ray and Zay, yeah, Alexis just had no business just pushing the issue with Ray and Jake. You know, very clearly something Ray didn't want to talk about, and Alexis just kept pushing and pushing and pushing. Zay says he wants to be engaged to Ray, and Ray says that she does not want to get engaged. Didn't say she didn't want to be with Zay, but she said she did not want to get engaged at the end of this. Zay just keeps pushing that confrontation. Ray very clearly doesn't want to engage, but Zay very clearly does. Zay, all of a sudden, he's just ignoring Ray because apparently her not wanting to talk is one of the greatest slights of all time. And Zay, like, on the phone with his buddies, planning on going out, and like won't even acknowledge Ray's existence. And he was very clearly, in my opinion, trying to punish Ray. And you should never, ever have that mindset that you need to punish your partner. That whatever happens, that you need to punish them for what they've done. You know, to solve things, resolve things, you know, correct something that's been done wrong or an issue, absolutely, but don't punish. And that was very clear what Zay's intentions were. And then he finally comes back at, I think it was 8 a.m. after ignoring all of Ray's phone calls and texts all night long. I think Ray said that he even turned his location off so she couldn't even find out where he was, and comes back very much smelling like booze and not seeing anything wrong with what he did. And Ray says she's done, trying to leave, and Zay physically preventing her from leaving. You know, did not like that at all whatsoever. You know, he's a very clearly a large man, and for him to be physically stopping or preventing her from leaving just did not sit well with me at all. Lastly, we have Shanique and Randall. Shanique was fishing for Randall to say something bad about Madeline, and just to me, that's just like, I understand where Shanique's coming from. You know, she wants to know that Randall doesn't think that Madeline is better than her, but the way that she went about it was just not great. It just wasn't. And Shanique saying that she doesn't want to marry Randall anymore after that interaction. The whole dinner at Shanique's grandma's house, honestly, I have no idea if that was good or bad for their relationship. You know, let's just call it neutral. But Shanique's family looks like they know how to put on a meal. That bowl, that gigantic, like that might be the largest bowl of seafood I've ever seen in my entire life. Just threw that on the table, everybody chowing down. That looks like the way you should do a family get together. That's going to be it for episode 7. Really, really excited to see how the rest of this season plays out. Only one more episode this week, and then I believe we get the final 2 episodes on April 13th. Very excited to see how everything goes for these couples over the last week together and their decisions. So that's going to be it for me today. As always, everybody, thank you so much for watching, and until next time, we'll see you later.